I'll be the one you can hold on to. I miss you.
Hello, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, and you are watching HoNTourSEA Southeast Asia G-League Cycle 2, and it is the last day, finally the last one, and it's gonna be the biggest one ever. It's gonna be between impunity.storm and MRR. Both teams need to win this today to decide that they will secure the last slot on the playoffs. And I'm Babael. With me is Lark.
Yep, you nicely said it right there, man. Both teams on the verge of finally getting into the qualifiers for this G League. I mean, the playoffs, sorry, for this G League. So it's really riding on a lot on this match. Like, especially for MRR, as long as they're able to win this, they definitely will secure themselves the spot into the playoffs. As for Impunity Storm, if they're able to win over MRR, they still have to hope for a couple of other things to go their way to kind of be placed in that qualifier spot. Like you nicely put up over there at EGTV, that very nice article about the quad way kind of race. So yeah, I mean, I gotta say this is gonna be a very interesting match to cast.
Yep, it will be. And since you have a little bit of a time now and they are just deciding through the first betting phase, I will definitely now run through a few things. For MR to go to the playoffs, they just need to win both games today. And that's going to be it. If they lose either of these two games, yeah, they can still have a chance, but it's going to be highly dependent on Bricks as well as ISE, and they don't want to leave it to their hands. For Impunity Storm to go to playoffs, they need to make sure that they win MRR as well as Bricks and the other teams. Bricks as well as ISE, they don't win. It's either a tie, then they will have the chance to go there. So, two things need to happen from Impunity Storm. One is that Bricks needs to have a tie, and they need to win. So again, focusing so much into this game, both teams just need to win. If it's a tie, the best possible scenario would be towards Bricks, where they just need to win the series against F2P, and that's fun place before this. They will secure the slot there. That being said, first betting phase nicely completed. It's gonna be the Fate, Sandrift, Magmus, and Bubbles. My God, what can I read into this?
Well, I mean, it just goes to show like that MRR, they do kind of have an idea of what heroes Impunity Storm likes to run, with like the bubbles and the sand wave. I don't think like bubbles is really worthy of a first pick, or actually should I say a first stage ban, because I just feel like it's not as important in my opinion. Like you could always pick it up during the second banning station. It's not as often. It's not picked up as often as something like a Wretched Hag. If they wanted to ban out the Wretched Hag, that would have been a lot more better in my opinion. But still, I mean, it's just kind of like nice. One more suicide slash offlane kind of hero. So we're just gonna have to see how it goes. The quick snap pick from Nova, just gonna pick up the Keeper of the Forest. That's
Mhm.
I mean that's a good pick straight away out of the first picking stage, and I think you can even go for, like I always mention this, and I don't know why teams just don't do it often than not, like just picking up the Tempest as well, like the double lockdown on top of like a lot of other heroes. Like they even have a rally right now. So I mean I don't know, like just that Tempest is so strong. MR, I think they definitely will respond with at least a Tempest pick of their own. You can already see Chito1X shadow picking Tempest, and I think they definitely should do that because I mean just having that the hero itself will allow a lot of push potential and team fight as well for the team.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a little questionable if they like to pick the Tempest right now. Tempest definitely helps MR in terms of a lot of AoE potential, locking down these teams, as in terms of the opponent in general. There with just the 5-man element of Void, definitely very big with Wretched Hack. Perfect synergy. Just like to see Lodestone going in also, but we have to always remember that there is already a Keeper, and Keeper is somewhat a nice counter against the Tempest. Now, I am expecting that Nova picked up the Keeper and the Rally, preparing himself to give Team MRR the Tempest. Now, this could be a little bit of a mistake towards the end of this. I am hoping that doesn't happen, but still, looking at this next few picks is going to be really key here. And what kind of a carry is Imperius going to put forth today? Is it going to be the Silhouette that has got a little bit of stun potential to try and cancel the Tempest if he is not caught? Or maybe it's going to be the big Dark Lady, or maybe, I don't know. Hag has been taken away, so I'm not going to say anything about Hag there, but we still see that Sandrift is alive in this whole game. And nope, they're not going to address the carry first. They're still going to go for the Prisoner 945. And having both Prisoner and Rally, this could be a little bit of a pinch situation for Impunity Storm.
Yeah, I don't know about stacking those two heroes together. It's not as effective as you'd really like it to be. I mean, I just like right off the bat, I can already feel like Impunity Storm's drafting is a little bit questionable in my opinion, seeing as to how the picks are coming out, the very strong picks coming out from the Hellborn team. They can actually kind of address the issues from the Tempest and Wretched Hag if they did it nicely. And if they really wanted to, instead of picking up the rally, they could have actually picked up a prisoner and then like a lodestone instead. Uh, just because of the fact that prisoner as that second pick is kind of like a good counter towards the Wretched Hag, and it kind of forces out the Hellborn team to not really pick up the lodestone if they really want it, because he does have the shackle that really locks down their skill. So I don't know, man. It's just a little bit questionable. I like Hellborn team right now. It's so strong. They have the lodestone, Tempest, and Hag, so they have wham bam combo over there. So it's just gonna be. It's a little frightening for Impunity Storm, but we're just gonna have to see what's the next couple of picks gonna be, especially after this second banning stage as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, now we're looking into the second banning phase. Nice to see the engineer nicely address MOA. Also, Pred and Nighthound, sorry, are being tossed away by MRR. And well, personally, I don't see both of these heroes very strong on Team Impunity Storm. I don't see how it's gonna be really synergizing being played by Xenofin. These are two heroes that he doesn't really play like very often, or maybe it's not even usually seen. If the silhouette gets banned out, I'm just gonna be completely agreeing with that. But right now, I'm not seeing Pred and Nihon being a real threat, so I don't agree with those bans. However, Nova bans are very much mid lane conservative there. So we have got the engineer, MOA, and Infora. Yes, the TDL is gonna get banned away, but no silhouette. So silhouette still pretty much alive in this game. And if it gets picked up by Impunity Storm, it should be a pretty sizable one going into this game. And in general, well, still a little bit nice to see that the Infora is being banned by Nova. I do believe that he's preempting a little bit of the Pebbles Infora combination from MRR, but already MRR has got a low stun there.
Yeah, and they're actually gonna pick up Baluna, so that's gonna have some synergy towards like the rally. It's gonna offer a lot of anti-push against the Tempest, and it's gonna give a lot of like, I mean, just the ability to snipe anyone from all across the map. Like, should prisoner go on someone, should rally go on someone, or depending what carry they're gonna choose here. Nighthound was banned, yeah. So Nighthound was banned, so they're not gonna have that ability to run around with the Aluna, which is something we see quite often in the Southeast Asian region. So it's kind of interesting to see. As for the Hellborn team, they actually go and opt for the Torture pickup, and that's just gonna offer a lot of more burst and or should I say magical DPS, and a bit of like physical DPS coming out from the impalement. So yeah, the impalement. So it's good. He's gonna offer a lot more push potential for the team, and as well as a lot of lockdown in the early stages of the game, and it's just gonna offer a lot of DPS basically. Very strong hero in its own right. Gonna be played more as the support role, definitely. I feel. I think they could be looking for another stunner in my opinion for the Hellborn team. We're just gonna have to see what the next pickup is gonna be from them.
Yep, that's it, man. Well, we are seeing the last pick from MR being the Torturer, so that's very interesting to see. That's gonna nicely stack with in terms of AoE and physical damage, also coming from Imperial, like I nicely pointed out. However, the last pick from Team Legion is gonna be the Moon Queen. Now, Moon Queen being played by Zendofin as the carry. Have you ever seen this before, Lark?
If not actually, to be honest. I like
Exactly.
Impunity Storm is like one of the few teams that really never picks up Moon Queen or Wild Soul pickup. Yeah, that's a lot of push potential right there coming up from Hellborn team, and a lot of
Yep.
early aggression. And if they're able to play this really, really nicely, they are so gonna be able to cover the Wild Soul for the mid to later parts of the later stages of the game. Sorry, and he's gonna have a lot of item pickups. And once he's huge, like the whole of the Legion team, there really isn't much that they can do. I mean, the thing is, they're still kind of like facing the Moon Queen, but if the early aggression comes up from Hellborn, they can shut him down at the same time, offer a lot of space for Walso himself. And if Walso picks up the items before the Moon Queen does, it's gonna be a very, very tough battle for Impunity Storm.
Yep, so that's it, man. We are just well on the way here, and this game's gonna be beginning really soon. And well, quickly, it seems like we are just gonna have to run through this team as well as players. And this is gonna be game one between Impunity Storm as well as MRR. And on Legion side, it is gonna be Impunity Storm, and they need to win both games. Winning one is not gonna be good enough for them. They definitely need to win 2 games to qualify for the playoffs. That said, the captain and drafter of Team Imperial Storm, Nova, is gonna be the Aluna in this game. Prisoner gonna be played by Emperor. We'll see, Prisoner, Emperor kind of a thing there, but anyway, fine. Xenofin gonna be your Moon Queen. Keeper of the Forest being played by Bass Storm, usually, as well as Frexa gonna be playing as the Rally. Whereas on Team Hellborn, we do have MRR, neolution.MRR, and they also need to win this entire series just to make it clear that they deserve the last spot there. That being said, their drafter there is going to be Bomb Rusher Paul, and he is going to be the Torturer. Tempest being played by ColorX. We also got Waldo being picked up by Chito1X. Dui also known as Dui he's going to be the carry Wretched Hack. Last but not least, 070 V1, love to call him 070, and he is going to be your Lodestone.
Yeah, and I think it's become more of a thing for Bomb Rusher Paul to not play the offlane anymore and just focus on the support, which is very interesting to me in my opinion. And the fact that they are able to swap roles and still play very nicely. I'm actually very impressed with the way that MMR has been able to kind of like keep their resolve and their game sense. So it's very interesting to see. Legion team, I think laning wise, definitely we're gonna see the rally head towards the top lane. Luna, Prisoner mid, Moon Queen is solo short, and then Keeper probably in the jungle. Seeing as to how Bastom is kind of playing that hero. As for the Hellborn team, it's gonna be short lane Hag, Tempest in the jungle. I'm not sure if it seems like Legion team is gonna head towards the Hellborn area over there, and like I really hope that they're able to quickly ward off that the jungle there for Tempest, as he won't be able to get much done, especially seeing as to how he knows that there is a Keeper of the Forest on the Legion team, so he won't really be as happy of kind of rotating towards the Legion side of the jungle. So hopefully for Impunity Storm, they're gonna be able to quickly run up to that top lane there from the Hellborn side and quickly ward that off, and that will play a big part into how the game will how the pace of the game will be played. You already see that Tempest, he only picked up 2 mana potions and not even like the Pretender's Crown or even the Amulet of Exile. Usually that's like the core that you should get, like 5 mana pots, Pretender's Crown, and not Amulet of Exile, the Mark of the Novice. So I think he just wants to make sure that he still has enough gold in case he needs to counter ward the entire of his jungle.
Yep, exactly. So that being said, well, it's going to be really interesting to just look at this Tempest, because I do believe that Tempest needs a lot of farm in the jungle, but because there's also a Keeper of the Forest and he is most possibly going to be taking the jungle perspective, both teams will have sizable space to just farm, and they are pretty much obsessed with defending their own jungle, so there will not be too much of a potential here for any below 1 minute gank here. So I'm hoping that again both Tempest and Keeper gets good farm, but I don't believe that either of them will be severely challenged in this early stages of this game. That being said, Tempest should be looking at a quick 300 plus GPM, always the fair benchmark for a successful Tempest. Same goes for Keeper, but in general, comparing both teams' burst potential at the middle lane, that's where most of this game's action is going to be actually. I do believe that I slightly favor the extra burst coming from Team Legion, definitely with the Prisoner and the Rally. But again, both Prisoner and Rally are pretty much intensive heroes in terms of execution. So if they have a little bit of a mistake, if Emperor misses on the hook again and maybe stuff like that, or maybe if the Rally misses the compel, if Frexer, just so decides to go into suicide mood, stuff like that, it's gonna be pretty hard for Impunity Storm to just stay on top of this game. But that being said, Team Hellborn, very strong boost potential, definitely with the walls. So also with the fact they have got Wretched Hack, plus the Tempest, it's always about the minions pushing potential in this one. And plus the fact the Team Legion have got no MOA, no bubbles, and nothing that can really be a conventional anti-push, except for Luna's Power Throw, but by herself it's definitely not going to be enough. And Rally, he's not going to be stupid enough to just compel himself past scripts to just, make sure that he serves as the anti-push. He'll want to go into heroes instead. So that being said, it's gonna be pretty hard here. But well, Legion, don't discount them just yet. They still have got a Keeper, which is gonna be able to just nicely summon animated 3 dogs, but I don't see how that's gonna be really effective against Tempest minions, as well as the fact that they've also got a Walso Bear, and the Bear is just the king of the push, man. Always the heavier champion. Just about 4 hits at late game can bring down a tier 3. Of course, nicely farmed up and all. That being said, man, game 1 is going to be well on the way here. And I do believe this game is going to be pretty boring for the first 5 minutes.
Maybe. I'm not too sure. It seems like actually the Legion team isn't gonna opt to go to the Hellborn jungle. I think they were a little bit too late to actually go over there. In fact, Hellborn team is so quick to quickly rush over there and make sure that none of the camps are gonna be blocked, and that's gonna help out a lot. Rally actually got stack region, but I think he's still gonna have a very difficult time against this Hag at the top lane, especially since it's kind of like that pseudo dual lane top, since Tempest is in that jungle. Middle lane, it's gonna be a lodestone torture. Not. I think there is decent amount of kill potential over there, but I don't know. Like the lodestone plates is just so damn strong in my opinion in terms of like uh the early stages, the ability to regen the amount of damage that you really get. So it kind of like negates some of the damage coming from like the power throw or like even the compel coming up from rally. Of course there are ways to easily deal with that. Oh, actually you look at torture, he's gonna get a nice D word there against Nova. So kind of like winning the ward battle so far at the early start of this game. I know it's so pathetic. We're talking about wards right now. But anyways, Boo Boo is gonna try to cut the creeps over here, and I think he's gonna be able to. Yep, he actually takes quite a sustainable amount of damage from the defense tower. Usually, you'd like to see them kind of like pull it a little bit further into the lane, but still gonna be alright. You look at the ward placed by Bomb Rush Paul. He actually blocked off the hard camp coming out there for the Legion team. So at least it will provide some sort of advantage to Tempest. I mean, Tempest already farms so damn well. Like he can easily get like 400 GPM uncontested, so expect to see that. And the thing is, like in Bastom, he's gonna have a hard time because he is not gonna have the hard camp there to work with. At least he does. I mean, for Hellburn team, they at least blocked off that one camp, and you can see Wild Soul already just pulling the creeps towards his own. He's gonna have the lane control right now, and Moon Queen actually is sitting at level 2 already. Picked up on a couple of creep CS right there, 4 creep kills, so he actually missed. Oh well, actually he didn't miss any, so pretty good job by him so far.
Yeah, that's it. Bottom lane is gonna be the Waltzer against the Moon Queen, and Moon Queen definitely have a slight advantage in this lane, simply because he does have the spam potential. But I do believe the Moon Queen doesn't have any mana pots there, so it's not gonna be used very frequently. That said, I always love to see the Boo Boo just dish out harassment on a solo lane Moon Queen. But this game, it seems like Waltzer is not gonna be doing that. He does have the bandwidth to pull the creeps, but he is still not doing that also. That being said, mid lane, Lodestone taking a little bit of trouble. The Shackle's gonna nicely go down on this Lodestone, but no kill just yet. So MRR 07 TV also gonna solo the mid against the Prisoner as well as the Aluna. It's gonna be pretty big against both NA EU champions here.
Yeah, and it's more or less like an okay, like in my opinion, like the lane setup from MR is pretty okay. I think Torture should still go to the middle lane and help out the what do you call this? Help out the Lodestone, since Hag is gonna have a really easy time here at the top lane against the Rally, even though Rally does have the stacked region over there, because you have the Tempest in the jungle to
Here
just
comes the
rotate
haste, the
around.
Luna.
Ooh, yeah.
But no, no kill just yet. And I mean, look at Emperor, man. He does have 1 point into the old ball and chain, sorry, as well as 1 point to Shackle, but he has been spamming Shackle like nobody's business, and that's kind of scary because he's just wasting a lot of mana there and dishing a lot of damage on Lodestone. But I do get that he's just trying to box out the Lodestone. That should be Luna's job, not so much on the Prisoner. He should be just conserving mana as much as possible. But now that he's already got the ball charges, he should be able to just nicely spam even further. That's it, top lane right now. It seems like Rally's in a lot of trouble. Rally looking for a quick compel out of this problem here, but no, it's not gonna be quick enough. It's gonna be a nice reverse compel, but it seems like Hex gonna go in, and maybe a Song Script is gonna pick up the Bloodlust. There we go. Duikyu is gonna have the first blood at all, and right now Duikyu looking to be in a little bit of a tight spot here, but Tower's not gonna spot this Hag out, or rather will not harass the Hag.
That's really beautiful. Oh, okay. Now I kind of see why Bomber Paul was really just setting up at the top lane. I'm actually surprised that they were able to pick up that kill into Rally. Just beautifully played. I just reached the tail end of that, so I didn't really catch most of that action. But I mean, I gotta say, to pick up a kill on the Rally who has stack region and a compel ability, yeah, that's a little bit unsettling for impunity.storm. That's definitely something that they don't want to have.
There we go, the hook in the middle lane is gonna nicely land, maybe a Shackle, but no, it's actually just gonna be in time to cancel the health pod on this Lodestone. I don't believe they are able to kill this just yet. They need to just be very careful right now. Lodestone's standing about just 400 health points, but if they go and commit to this kill, it could just turn around quickly. It's not gonna be so confident, but yep, there we go again. Ball and chain from Emperor is just so accurate. Shackle is gonna be used there, so no escape. It's gonna be an easy kill onto the Lodestone. Them Emperor just making sure he's the boss of the middle lane right now, and we're just looking at 4 minutes. It's 1-1. It could still be anyone's game.
Yeah, that was just beautiful. I mean, 2 hooks in a row coming from Prisoner, and usually Prisoner is not a hero that has like the highest amount of pulls, so making sure that you hit those hooks is a big part of like already winning the lane. So Emperor, man, doing with the big plays there, doing a really good job of like just picking up the kill on a lodestone
Oh, that
nonetheless.
thought right now. Torture goes top lane. Maybe a stun's gonna happen on Rally. Rally fracks in a lot of trouble there, but maybe a compel. Yes, it's gonna nicely connect. No mana on the hack, but that's a Torture of Impalement. Just gonna nicely impale him from down below. Wow. Down goes Rally. Nice to see that. And maybe the top tower is gonna be severely challenged right now. If an Impalement is gonna go off quickly in the next few, in fact, next 10 seconds, maybe the tower is gonna be severely threatened. That said, we do have an invisible lodestone in mid lane, man.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think a little bit of miscomms coming out there from Hellborn team. They could have actually had the Tempest already rotate to the top lane because they did have the Hell Cannon already. So they would have been able to quickly push down the tier 1 and maybe even force a... Oh yeah, no, I think Luna's gonna be fine. Like even force a... what do you call this? The armor to come out. So, I mean the fortification.
Nope.
So that's really unfortunate.
Luna
Luna's actually
will
gonna
spot out the
out...
Tempest.
Oh god.
But here comes the low stone. It's gonna be a nice gank here, and Luna Nova looking in a lot of trouble, and maybe a stun on the low stone, but a hit smash. That's a good slow there. Deja Vu gonna be in play, and Nova just escaped nicely while his counterpart, the prisoner, is gonna be able to make sure that that's gonna be fine. And there's continuous gang at his top lane tier 1. Look at that, not even gonna deny the tower there. What a mistake it is for Frexer, but just keeping sure that he doesn't go down, it's just the most important thing right now. Because he doesn't have the level advantage, he doesn't have the gold advantage. That's it, bottom lane, a gank's gonna happen quickly. Keeper is gonna go and play. Maybe the root's gonna land there, but it's gonna be a beefy beefcake also. But the ulti from the Moon Queen just gonna nicely go in favor of her. In fact, 3 beam landing on that wall, so not the boo-boo. What a lucky Moon Queen this is. But that being said, still perfect gameplay from both impunity.storm and MRR here. We're just looking at 2-2, and let me just tell you this right now. They need to put a ward here at his top river now. No ward. It's gonna be so hard for the top lane to continue pursuing their interest there. They will have to rotate right now.
Yeah, I think you can definitely see some rotation coming out from Tempest to at least like move towards the middle lane, set up a gank, then probably just go towards the bot. Definitely, Keeper of the Forest really wants to push down this lane really quickly, and I think they should be able to because Wild Soul doesn't have an bear up for another. Oh, okay, actually he does have it. I'm confused. Oh, and Emperor actually just used the ultimate in the mid lane, so I'm not too sure what happened over there. But yeah, just really unfortunate. Gonna use that. Doesn't have any more mana right now, so they can actually force a push out here. And you can see that Tempest is already making his way towards the middle lane. I'm not sure if he is gonna go to the bot. I think they should just go ahead and push down the middle lane, then free up some space to at least set up wards towards the top and the mid, and then force even more aggression coming out. And that was
goes in. Rocket Drill stun. Also goes the Glacier Blast there. It seems like a nice stun from the Torture is going to be able to try and nicely mop up this prison. A great block also, but here comes the hack. Duiker just nicely mopping it up. 017 gets the kill, and that's going to be the Lodestone. Nice last auto attack there. But that being said, there's nothing Prisoner could really do in that kind of situation. He was just not tanky enough. Not enough health points, just 900. But that's going to mean a lot of early aggression on this middle lane. And if they lose this lane, their jungle is not going to be protected anymore. They need to just make sure that it's still going to be standing. Prisoner just 4 seconds before he comes back. But because of the misplay earlier, it doesn't have the ult even if it does port back to the middle lane. That's pretty scary to see.
Yep, and it seems like they're not going to be able to push this down. Keeper actually rotated mid, and he's going to have root up for... yeah, he's gonna have it right there. So, you know, at least some signs of life for impunity.storm to kind of like take a counter push in case anything happens. But also at the bottom lane, he's having a really tough time against this Moon Queen. He did already die just now with the help of the Keeper of the Forest, and just beautiful plays. I gotta say, coming out from Zenderfin and his counterpart over there with the Bastion. Oh, Torture, you gotta be careful, bro. Yeah, he kind of really decided to just jump up on that lane over there. He does have a ward of sight at least being placed on that hill, so I think he's gonna spot out at least like the Keeper of the Forest and the Moon Queen, so he should be fine. While still in the meantime, he's only sitting at about 270 gold per minute, so actually it's not as bad seeing as to how he did have that one death towards the Moon Queen. Wait, was it Moon Queen? Yeah, Moon Queen that picked it up, so... Yeah, I mean Moon Queen is having having a decent time right now. Surprisingly, he's only at 280 gold per minute, so not too sure what's going on with him right there. But yeah, I think I'm actually surprised that they weren't able to push down this this tier 1 at the bottom, even despite the help of the Keeper. Actually, it looks like they're gonna try to set it up again this time around, but the Torture is in the vicinity. There is no TP right now on Lodestone, but there is one in Tempest, and he's already porting to the bottom lane, so he's gonna get ready for setup. Hag has a regen plus, a homecoming stone as well, so he can definitely come in anytime and just help out with the team fight. And I think he should definitely prepare himself.
From the
because
Torture is gonna land quickly. There we go. Chain reaction gonna be landing on the Moon Queen. Tempest looking for a big element of void. Yes, it's gonna be happening in play right there, but no, Moon Queen looking for a little bit of a range there. Not able to pick up the kill on the Torture, but nice root from Keeper. Here comes the hack, and she just nicely just mopped up the Keeper there. Moon Queen's gonna be forced to pull back, but meanwhile in the backup supply lines here, we do have the Prisoner missing the hook again. And it seems like Hack's gonna be able to just keep safe. But that being said, man, it's still a good trade because they did get a tower nonetheless. Also, the fact it's a 1:1 exchange. Torture for the Keeper, nothing too grave at stake there.
Yeah, a little bit of misplay coming up from MRR, especially even at the tail end. You saw Lodestone using the Shatter Storm and completely hitting nothing, so a little bit of miscomms over there. They're gonna stack this, and Wildsoul's gonna be able to take this triple stack camp. I think with the help of Hack, maybe not. So Hack is gonna just go ahead and continue farming. I'd like to see at least a couple of wards at the top lane because they are really giving a lot of space for a rally to pick up on farm, and that's not what you really want to do, especially a hero like Rally. If he's gonna excel once he picks up like a lot of tanky items, and even initiation wise, I think he can even force out the portal key early, as that will help out a lot for his team. And yeah, it can actually set up for a pretty good hook, or like even a 3-man hook with Prisoner into something like a what do you call this, a Seismic Slam and a Demoralizing Roar. So there's a lot of combinations that the Legion team can actually do, and it's mostly physical damage. Especially in the early stages of game, it's going to do a lot for their team, seeing as to how they are very squishy on the Legion team. They don't have the best of armor as well. None of them have really much armor items except for the Tempest, who already finished the Astrolabe, so at least he's gonna have that to work with for the next few couple of engagements, and that's a really big teamfight item for MR right now.
Yep, so that's it, man. We're just waiting for the next push, and it seems like things are gonna slow down a little bit more in this game. 11 minutes in, 3-4 here, and just 1k. Already close to 2k gold in advantage of Team Hellborn there. That's it. They do have a total of 1 tower push down, and Team Legion having none push down at all. Sorry, 1 tower also down south. So that's gonna be a little bit more on this creep kill, which you can nicely see at the bottom of the screen. 68 creep kill, the top creep kill for this entire game. There, hold that all a bit because top lane there, Hack's gonna be safe though. Maybe a power throw, but no, it's not gonna be in the correct direction, and also gonna be green color one. So that's just fine. That being said, down south, Moon Queen is gonna find herself in a lot of trouble. Impunity gonna come in quickly. Boo Boo with Walso looking to just nicely go in to just maybe kill up the Moon Queen, but nope. Hesitation there, and Torture having no mana. There's just no way he could just fall out on that. Also with the fact that he doesn't have the stun because he actually used that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you can't really set up a kill onto a Moon Queen, especially when you're a Wild Soul who doesn't have items just yet, and no, not even red boots on Boo Boo. So he's actually not microing his bear. Oh, okay, there you go. He's actually using it right now. He needs to be a little bit more careful. I think they did spot out the Prisoner and the rest of the gang coming in, and that's why they quickly backed off right there. Torture doesn't have mana, but he's like going way back here in the
oh, great hook on that Lodestone, but nope, it's still not gonna be useful because he does have the haste there, and the shackle is still gonna go off. That's it. The Ward of Sight is, well, it does need to be protected right now. The Ward of Wrath's gonna be in the vicinity. Is Nova gonna be alerted to this? I do believe he is, but he's not gonna hit in that direction for a possible D-Ward.
That's actually risky play coming in from Bomb Rusher Paul, but it's gonna pay off because now they have vision behind the tower.
Now
they can
Torture, a lot of trouble there. Great hook onto the Torture. The shackle's still gonna be used, and yes, one last hit from Emperor is gonna nicely mop up the Torture, torturing the Torturer. We all love that.
Yeah, and Moon Queen's gonna take this triple stack Ancients, and it is 3 Dragon Masters. Is that 3? Yeah, I'm kind of getting blind right now, but yeah, it's gonna offer a lot of gold for him. And you see even Nova just placing the DD ward right there. They actually lose the dragon to the tower, so a little bit unfortunate there, but still gonna help out this Moon Queen a bit. Like, he already picked up the Whispering Helm, so he's gonna go for an early Shrunken Head, and that's a really strong item to have against the Hellborn team.
Meanwhile, the tier 1 at the middle lane right now is gonna get challenged there. Hellborn's looking for a possible push here. Hack goes in, wants the kill on the Prisoner or not. They are still gonna pull back a little bit of pressure there, but yes, the tower is gonna get forted up nicely. And Legion looks like they are just gonna go and take a little bit of a team fight. Maybe just deny the tower, but no, tower will get destroyed. Root goes down. Moon Queen is gonna be in a perfect position for the LT, but will not use it just yet. Now he's just gonna use it. And nope, Lodestone can nicely burst down Nova. Hack's gonna be behind. There's no way Hack can run away there, but a hook is gonna be so big. Not enough damage though. The Hack's gonna be safe. And the Tempest, man, he does have Element of Void, but what is he exactly doing? Nothing at all. We're just looking at 14 minutes in, 5:5 here, 4k goal deficit in favor of Team Hellborn again. And MRR have a little bit of a better exchange there, but Wrexham and Rally going in to kill the Hag. What happened there?
Yeah, he just got caught by the Compel. Just, I think it Compel or the ultimate. I'm not too sure.
Seismic Slam because it was just like fresh off cooldown there, 80 seconds. Yep, he did.
Yeah, he just used
Seismic
it.
Slam.
That was, well, that's a really clutch play. But I gotta say, that previous engagement, a lot of it had to. Whoa, did I just see a Mocker Brilliance on
Yep, you did.
Walsall?
So did I. It's it's really record breaking right now. 14 minutes in with Walsall completing their Mocker Brilliance, despite not having the best of moments in the early game against the Moon Queen.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting at 380 gold, so I mean, that's a really quick Mocker Brilliance, and that's gonna offer a lot for the team. Because now Prisoner 945 is Portal Key is basically gonna be nullified with Boo Boo just running in the background. I'd like to see him at least pick up boots. If not, he's not gonna be able to really chase down the Moon Queen. At least like red boots, you know, it doesn't have to be upgraded, and just build up other items. But yeah, at least red boots. And Cheeto and X is not famous for actually building that item up onto his bear.
Boo Boo, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It doesn't buy boots for the bear, but that's okay. I mean, definitely you need boots on the bear, and it seems like he is not going to do that. So that's his style. But look at the damage on the bear. Oh, sorry, from the bear on the tower. It's really huge there, but no fortification. There we go. Rally's going to go in. Nice compel, but it's not going to hit at all. And yeah, we do have the final moment where they realize there's a big Mock of Brilliance on the bear there. And yes, Glowstone going to go in nicely, bursting down. The Moon Queen. Moon Queen goes down. And now it seems like Prisoner going to go in nicely to just pop the LD, but not enough damage, not enough support. Root's going to go down. Tempest pops the Element of Void. Just nicely killing up the Prisoner itself, and Keeper now looking to run away. Is going to be dusted there, so, oh, sorry, the ward is going to be placed and not the dust, so he's going to be fine at the very end there if he walks out of range. And now it seems like MR, man, they're just looking to milk this moment and going in to capitalize on this tier 3. There's a great raid power knocking onto Torture, but he is still not going down just yet. 8-6 or 16 minutes in, 7k advantage, and the tier 3 being challenged at just 16 minutes in. MR secures the first tier 3. They're looking at the second one there. Nice spot in by the Lodestone. Maybe Nova looking to go down again. That's level 6 Nova, and that might be just it there. We are just waiting for the next 5 seconds before Team ImpunityStorm comes back. That's also the melee barracks going down. Range barracks severely threatened there. Maybe a compel, but nope. A little bit of a stun's gonna happen on the Rally there, and Prisoner gonna nicely hook 2 heroes there. Torture looking to go down quickly, but Rally takes the fall, and here comes the Moon Queen. Can she save the day? It's a little tad too late. Walsall is just so focused on the range barracks. It's complete wrecks here. Complete wrecks. It's just under 17 minutes. The top lane is just taken care of by MRR. That's severe advantage in favor of Team Hellborn right now. And look at the bear. They actually managed to let the bear run away. What is
that? Holy hell, man! That push. Wow. MRR just completely. I don't know, man. That was just really good plays by them. Like, they completely pushed down the tier 2. They won a huge team fight. They got heroes picked off again, despite them like reviving. They got the base racks. They got the base tower as well, and they still got a couple more kills. I think they only lost the Torture. Yeah, the Torture in that engagement. So I don't know, man. That's just really not what you want to see coming out early on this game. And you look at Hag, I think he just purchased the recipe for the Glimmer of Power, so he needs I think a couple of more gold for the Blessed Orb, and he's gonna have that soon. But yeah, I'm surprised, man. Like, that early Radiance, they put full use out of it. Cheeto 1X leading the way with the rest of his team to completely push down the tier 1. I mean, not the tier 1, the racks at the top lane, and that's huge, because now the Legion team, already being so far behind, they're gonna lose out a lot of gold from top lane, and they're gonna be forced to like constantly, you know, like just protect the top lane from all this enrage creep. So it's really unfortunate coming up from ImpunityStorm right now.
Well, let me just be very clear right now. If ImpunityStorm draws this series today, they will not go to the playoffs. There's no way they can best MRR score. They need to win MRR, and they need to do it fast. So right now, we're just looking at 80 minutes in, 7-10 still, but tier 1 of the milling gonna be challenged by ImpunityStorm. Here comes the bear, and the quick Shadow Storm is gonna nicely go in there, but nope, again it's gonna miss. Not gonna be useful at all. The bear is gonna be the main death turns here. Here comes the hack, haste and all. We do have an invisible keep at the back, and yes, it seems like Torture, the Prisoner is gonna go into suicide himself. That's fine. Hack's gonna nicely pick up the Nova, the Luna there, and it seems like the Moon Queen is gonna be able to pick up the hack. That being said, the Moon Queen now being challenged, he goes down, and yep, Rally gonna be the last pick there. He is gonna be picked off also. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Keeper is going to take a separate route there, but that's it, man. They are also going to capitalize. MRR, they are not going to stop this. They're going to push down this tier 2 and go for the Rex as well as the tier 3.
Yeah, I mean, they're at least gonna get the tower as well as the melee racks, in my opinion. There is really nothing much that Legion team can do. They don't have the items, they don't have the early team fight heroes advantage right now. Hellborn team has all the items that they need. Look at Tempest, man. Shrunken head already, going for that full on battle assault mode, you know, just gonna get up in the face of all of the rest of the Legion team and just make sure that he's able to pull off his ultimate off. Like, that was a really questionable decision by Emperor at the middle lane in the previous engagement to actually like port in and use that ultimate. I mean, I get the idea where he wanted to kind of like put the Hellborn team in disarray, but that really doesn't work. And like I mentioned, they just took the tier 1, I mean not tier 1, jeez, the base tower as well as the rack, so it's looking really grim for Impunity Storm right now.
Yep, it's grim indeed. Look at the melee Brax going down. Only left with the range Brax at the middle lane here. Team Impunity Storm, they're just so far behind all of a sudden in the last 5 minutes. 5 minutes ago, they were just standing at about 5k gold deficit. And 5 minutes later, they're just staring at 17,000 gold deficit. There's no way they can come back into this game staring at such a huge amount of gold difference. They need to make sure that they step up their game a lot more in the next engagement. But really, one just wonders, what can they really do right now? Even the Rob Clef is going to be picked up by Wild, so it could be a problem with the drop again because there's nothing that's bursty in Team Legion right now. I mean, yes, you have the Seismic Slam, yes, you have the Rally Compel, but he isn't the biggest of play today. He just isn't performing as much as I thought he should. He did land good Compel, but always is just disjointed with the Seismic Slam. There's not a moment where he was just able to flawlessly execute both of them. And even look at Moon Queen, man. Yes, I do give him huge credit for the quick Geomedes. The quick Firebrand as well as the quick Whispering Helm. But no Geomedes Bane just yet, and looking at just 1.6k gold in the bank. Definitely very quick for the next Geomedes Bane, but that's gonna be about 5 minutes later. And in the next 5 minutes, man, will we be staring at 30,000 plus gold deficit? We don't know here. And MRR, they're just capitalizing. They're just punishing Impurity Storm for going in one by one. And once they pick off, they're just gonna keep killing them one by one again and again. It's like the constant mistake of Impurity Storm is just going in, soloist mentality, and not making sure that there's a team effort. Of course, they are pressured very much to defend their spot there. I completely understand. But sometimes it's better just wait for the rest of your teammate before I take the next team fight.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just so difficult for Impunity Storm. The items coming out from Hellborn team is just flawless right now. You have a barbed armor pickup on Lodestone, so that's gonna help out a lot when he initiates and kind of like forces out the Moon Queen to use the Moon Finale. That's gonna reflect a lot of damage back, as well as Bomb Rush actually is gonna DC right there. This is quite scary as Lodestone is actually facing 3 heroes right here. Man, if they're able to pick off this Lodestone, it might translate into somewhat of a defense for them, but just seeing as the positioning of Hag, Tempest, and Wild Soul, I don't think they can really do much. And knowing Lodestone, he's probably just gonna pop the Shatter Storm right away, right off the bat, and the rest of his teammates just gonna go ahead and help out. Hag actually has a Grip of Power already finished, so there's really nothing much that Legion team can do. So much damage output coming out from the Hellborn team already. You look at the damage charts, Hag is all the way up there with 16%, so yeah, it's just really, really devastating coming out from the Hellborn team.
Yep, so, well, I just can't stress this enough this whole game. We need to make sure that Impunity Storm wins 2 games. If they lose even 1, they're pretty much out of it. But they need just to make sure that they at least tie. If they tie, then there are other stakeholders here. There are also 2 other teams. I'm just going to show you guys the table right now since we're having a little bit of a pause here. And by tournament rules, we will not show the game when there is a pause. Do note the game is not over. I'm just having a pause. That's it. The table standings, as I said yesterday, is after 14 rounds here, we're just looking at MRR, Bricks, Imperial Storm, and SD Sawadee Cup Gaming, also known as ISE. So all 4 teams eligible for the last spot in the playoffs. That's provided a numerous set of things happens. Now, first things first, if MRR loses a game today, they will be at the mercy of Bricks as well as ISE. But Impunity Storm, they need to win 3 points. And that is only obtained, or rather achievable, by getting both games their way. And right now, first game pretty much... well, we're just gonna say that this is early game is just nicely expiring here. Just looking at about 21 minutes plus 22 minutes into this game, and the lead is just really ridiculous, going in favor of Team Hellborn, and that's MRR. So if MRR wins this game, they are pretty much gonna be looking forward to win the next one. And Impunity Storm will know that they will not be able to make the playoffs, but will they still give us a game to watch in the next one? That's the biggest question I have on my mind, because sometimes teams are just completely demoralized there, and I hate to see that, man. I hate to see that. So we still want to see a close fight between Impunity Storm as well as MRR here today. And that being said, Well, Bricks as well as ISE, the main reasons why they can make the playoffs is because if MRR as well as Impunity Storm meets a tie here, we're just looking at Bricks winning 3 points against F2P. If that happens, by the way, F2P is fun place. If that happens, they will be the one to go to the playoffs instead of MRR, as well as ISE there. ISE, they are still pretty much eligible, but they have a subtle additional factor in there, and that's the main point here, because they need to win AVIX, and well, AVIX, you can see the table, they're just standing at about position 12 there, but that's it. They also need Bricks to at least tie or lose. They cannot have Bricks win F2P. That being said, well, a lot of things are pretty much on the stake here, and I'm just pretty much excited today. It's one of the biggest days. In fact, it's the last day. They always save the last for the best for last, sorry, and we're just looking at this possible quad quad eligibility here for the last slot of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that's really deep insight there, yeah, and that just proves a lot of point as to how important this game is right now, and it's just like really slipping away from impunity.storm. I don't want to count them out just yet. I mean, although the signs are like really clear that it's very difficult for them to really kind of like get back into it. Hopefully, MR kind of makes a lot of mistakes in the next couple of team fights, or maybe even draws, and then maybe Moon Queen can get like really damn fat and probably turn the game around. Probably see a Restoration Stone and Keeper of Forest, and like I don't know, like Rally PK, Prisoner with like Insanitarius and Elder Parasite and a whole bunch of other items. I think at least they might have a shot, but it's really tough for Impunity Storm right now, and it sucks. Because they were so close, or they are so close to getting towards the top 4 spot in the G League. So it's really I just hope they don't get demoralized, and we look forward to a really good game number 2 if this goes into
You're
a GG.
sounding as if this game is done, man. Like most of the viewers out there, I do believe that we all have the mentality.
No,
that,
I
well,
mean, I'm not saying that it's done. I'm just just saying my thoughts. That's all.
yeah, it's true. It's true. We're just staring at
yeah.
a huge, almost equivalent to unsurmountable goal lead in favor of MRR right now. And Impunity Storm, they know the importance of this game. They know it so well. That's why they're just trying so hard here. And that being said, man, they need to make sure that some form of magic happen. Maybe the HoN God's just gonna blast that Zendo Finn playing the Moon Queen with insane items in the next 10 minutes, and maybe if the game survives past the point, they still have a say in this. But that being said, man, there's a lot of strong points coming from MR. Now lobby, yep, we're gonna have a little bit of the change in screen here. Finally, gonna go back to this game. So game 1 still well on the way for all of you who just nicely tune in. We are just looking at 22 minutes in, but the Legion base is completely beyond recognizable here. It's like completely barren on the top, mid lane half-ass Rex, but still a Rex, man, and just staring at about 8 kills to 14 kill here. Ooh.
Yeah, Lodestone actually ported out just now as soon as the pause finished. Like a quick port, he knew that he was in a really bad spot. You look at Tempest, he has a portal key as well, on top of the rest of his items. Oh, look
that
at
thought
that.
there. Hack goes in. Boo Boo is gonna nicely chase out Team Legion. Meanwhile, they're gonna take flight in 2 separate directions. One of the top jungle, one of the bottom one. That being said, we're just looking at, yep, the tier 2 gonna be challenged there. And MR, man, they could easily just end this game right now before things get slightly complicated there. We do have a double dimension Wretched Hack. Still, it's gonna be on for the next 20 seconds. That's gonna be enough for the next big team fight, provided the creeps walk fast enough. And Tempest has, well, Tempest is just big in this game. Let me just tell you why. He is standing at about well, decent amount of farm, 450 plus GPM. Also with the portal key, shrunken head, astrolabe, ring of sorcery, every single thing this Tempest ever dream of in his inventory, it's there already. So it's like the only thing that's missing is the Restoration Stone, but he doesn't even need that in this game. 23 minutes in, this game could almost be done there. And the bear gonna be nicely hooked in and maybe taken care of. But look at the damage from the bear onto the defense tower. It's really big there. Lodestone gonna come into this kill, and nicely, it seems that Babael's gonna go in. Also, Seismic Slam gonna go down on the Wretched Hack in the face there. Also, we're looking at Tempest going in with a 2-man Element of Void, maybe going down also. Best time, a lot of trouble. Best time takes the fall, and it seems like Moon Queen gonna pop the LD, going in for a little kill on the Torture, but Torture goes down. Hack is gonna be just fine. And we're looking at range Rex going down also. That is gonna be the bottom lane Rex down. Nobody knows it's done, man. He knows there's no way he can pull MSI Fnatic come back. There's no way at all. So we are just staring at game 1 done. And Impunity Storm is out of the race to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's just really unfortunate. I would have loved to see them in that playoff stage. So I mean, it's really disheartening, and I'm sure a lot of fans out there are probably thinking, "Damn, Impunity Storm, they're so close, you know. But you know what? You can always look forward to at least cycle 3 or cycle 4, but at least they will have another shot at going for the playoff stage. But I mean, they are slowly improving. If you notice, they kind of, especially with the latest editions of like both Emperor and Fraser, they're doing a pretty decent job of you know teamwork and such. I think they just need to work on like the drafting itself. If you notice in that game, the drafting wasn't the best in my opinion. Like there really wasn't much to kind of sustain or kind of like, because it was like a single core hero right there with that Moon Queen. They should have actually chose better heroes to kind of like back him up in the early stage and offer him a lot of free space, just like what the Helper team did, MRR that is. Like they offered so much early push and early ganks that Wild Soul, 14 minutes in, had a freaking what do you call this? Mock of Brilliance, and within 2 minutes just pushed down the entire base racks and base towers at the top lane, and that's really game changing in my opinion. It's so early in the game, so hopefully Infinity Storm in this game kind of like takes a page out of their book from MRR and kind of like drafts the way that they did before, because it's really important to get the right heroes to really work around something like a single core if you're going to go for like that Moon Queen.
Yeah, it's again a little bit of this strategy at play, really. Going into the drafting stage, I think Imperial Storm wanted to play a little bit of the mid-game strategy where, you've got a very farmed up Moon Queen, and that actually worked pretty well in their favor because Moon Queen is going off against it also and wasn't able to secure the kill or rather regulate the wall, so that's a big fail for Team Imperial Storm. But of course, I'm not gonna penalize too much on that because I feel that it's not something that they could really control. That being said, they've got double the rally as well as the extra, as in rally plus the prisoner. So that's two very strong ganky hero there. But still, nothing was really done. Also, in terms of AoE team fight, I mean, Hellbound, they perfectly know what their strengths are, and they know that they will excel in terms of team fight because of the extra burst potential coming up from the Torturer, from the Wretched Hack, plus the Tempest. They even have a Waltzo, which does have a Mock of Brilliance, so it's like all this additional burst damage coming from, or rather AoE damage coming up from Team Hellbound. They know that they have it, that's why they bring the team fight earlier. At just 17 minutes, top lane was Rexed out. 22 minutes, the game was done. So in just you can definitely tell that towards the tail end of that game, about just 5 minutes before the game ended, things were just fine. 5 minutes later, for some reasons, it's done. So Imperial Storm, they should know what they want going to this second game here. Whatever strategy they're just trying to pull off, I hope that it's gonna work in their favor because MRR, they're just gonna go ahead. They're not gonna be they're gonna be relentless, man. They're just not gonna stop on this pain train. They're just gonna continue to punish Imperial Storm for every single mistake and wanting to make it a 2 win for them.
Wait, yeah, I got a question. Does that mean that now MRR is officially in the playoffs?
No,
Not just yet, right?
not just yet, because they need to win the next game. If they lose the next game, then it's gonna be Bricks. If Bricks wins both games, if Bricks lose one game today, then it's gonna be ISE. So you see, it's all gonna be based on what happens the next game. The game 2, very big. In fact, I personally hope that game 1 will go to Imperial Storm so that MR will be like, oh crap, we need to just make sure the second game's gonna be big, and Imperial Storm is gonna have all the morale in the world to just make sure that the second game is the biggest game. But seeing how they lost the first game, I am pretty disheartened because that's not gonna be the best, hype scenario for everyone where, it's the biggest possible game. It's like Imperial Storm knows that they're out and they may not even be committed to playing the next one. But of course, as professionals, they are gonna be going to this game, and I hope that they will be able to just nicely put forth a lot of nice gameplay for all of us to see today.
I have news coming out from a little birdie of mine. Shout out to Fantasy. He actually said that, if I'm not mistaken, that Bricks actually got a walkover win today. So that just means that if MRR draws here, then Bricks is definitely into the what do you call this? Into the fourth spot of the G League.
Wow, huge shout out
So
Fantasy, man. Always point on when it comes to news. It seems like he does have eyes and ears all over our area. It's kind of scary. I'm gonna have to check my toilet right now. But that said, Fantasy man, fantastic information. Yes, so it does mean that Bricks is waiting for the second game, and they are gonna be watching with their eyes wide open and wondering yesterday why did they lose both games to ISE. If they won one game, then it would have been a lot more, little more favor going towards their side. But nope, it seems like they are gonna be waiting for this game to happen here, and it's gonna be a big one.
I mean MRR. This is the game. this is the game that they really, really need to win. Like everything is riding on this right now. The final last game against Impunity Storm. Are we gonna see them like just topple Impunity Storm like they did in the previous game, like completely dominate, or are we gonna see a closer match? I'm not too sure. I'm actually hoping for the latter because it's gonna be a lot more fun to cast and not just so one-sided. But still, it's gonna keep us on our toes, and yeah, very interested to see how this next game is gonna progress.
Yeah, it's well, again, game two gonna be happening really soon here, and well, I'm just hoping that the draft, whatever works for Imperial Storm, is gonna be working in their favor. Whatever worked for them before, they should be pretty careful right now. But well, a little bit of stat update. In Cycle 1, Imperial Storm finished as the 5th spot, so I do believe they are pretty much gonna finish in the 5th spot if they, or rather, no, actually not. They're not gonna finish in 5th. They will be 6th at least, because if they lose this next game, they are pretty much gonna be in the 6th to 7th spot, and that's gonna be a slight little downgrade for them, but that should be fine. I mean, they are, after all, a very new team, and this team was formed just about 1 week before Cycle 2 began. So huge respect to
Yeah.
Impunity Storm, man.
Yeah, I mean they work hard to really achieve their goals, and I hope for that. I hope for them that at least in cycle 3 they can at least get their time to shine in the G League and make playoffs, and it'll make for exciting games to watch. I mean they like to choose very unconventional heroes sometimes, especially with the addition of Emperor. So there might be the occasional elephant or something else that we might see, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to Impunity Storm as a whole in the next cycle, whether or not they can make it through to playoffs and like at least sustain the top 4 positions in the G League for cycle number 3.
Yep, that's fine. So, well, that being said, man, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna cut to a little bit of a short break here, and we hope you guys enjoy our cast. This is Babael, with me is Lark. We'll be back with Game 2 real soon, so sit tight and grab your popcorns, man. See you guys soon.